Vernon, Tyus. Woo, woo.
All right. So today we're going to talk about a lot of issues that's going on in the world as we see it. But first, we're going to get to some of these announcements. The business classes are, going really well. They're halfway through their courses. They became nonprofits last week, for-profit corporations. 4 more weeks to go, so you guys keep it up. You guys are doing a tremendous job as far as our members is concerned. If you're interested in becoming a member of Blot Incorporated, getting your businesses up, developed, structured, whatever else, give me a call at 216-815-7300. The next classes will start in August. We're not doing any classes for July. We're taking a break. So our next class will start in August 16th. It's a Sunday from 1 to 4 and Monday from 6 to 9. So it's one class once a week for 7 weeks to get your businesses up and structured and developed and everything else. Getting grant information, getting your credit done, getting your business plans done. Also tonight is real estate, a continuation of real estate. Class is going to be at 6 o'clock tonight with Carlos and Dominique. So if you're interested in real estate, we won't have any real estate in July. Our real estate classes will resume in August, as of August the 19th at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in the business classes as well as the real estate, give me a call, 216-815-7300.
So what they going to talk about tonight at the real estate?
I think flipping. Making money flipping houses.
Nah, I think we're going to be talking about some wholesaling.
Oh, wholesaling, sorry. Making money wholesaling.
Yeah, Dominique and Carlos are pretty knowledgeable. I mean, they have a lot of knowledge about wholesaling. In the beginning, I didn't like wholesaling.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hustle man's job.
Now you like it?
Yeah, there's a lot of quality that comes with that process. Larry and I, the owner of KZ Radio, we talk about it a lot. It's a lot of technique, a lot of technology that go with it, a lot of skills, a skill set that you actually learn. So those of you that have some apprehension about wholesaling, I suggest you drop in, see what those people, that couple has to say about wholesaling,
Yes.
learn some techniques.
Yes.
Maybe you might want to sign up for it in August, right?
In August 19th. Classes start at 6 p.m. We moving forward. So pretty much we're moving forward. So if you're interested in starting your business the correct way, and we call it the correct way because we have people come in to our program and they don't have a broad understanding. Maybe I can say that, a broad understanding of how things should work. We have people traveling now from all the way from like Westlake, Avon Lake, Youngstown, PA, things like that. So they're desperate for the information they want to learn. Yeah.
2020 is going pretty fast. It's June already. We
2000
halfway through the year.
2020 hit.
I guess we had a lot of activity, in spite of the coronavirus and everything that's going on. Matter of fact, we need to look at that as being activity because that caused a lot of turbulence for us.
Yes,
right?
it did. Yeah.
So a lot of us had to reinvent ourselves, and then we got the protest situation that's going on right now.
Protesting.
Right.
A lot of people angry out here in different cities, different states of things that's going on. I think they fed up with it. They tired of the situation and they want to change immediately.
Absolutely. I think the proper topic or the subject matter is to talk about protest and perseverance.
Okay. All right.
Okay. What it means to protest and what it means to persevere.
Okay.
A lot of us like to talk about stuff that happened before when protest was
Back in the
dominant.
day.
Yep.
Right. Back in the day.
Especially that the bloodiest decade of the whole century, which was the 60s, when we start talking about protest. But a lot of times in our class, we go back and we start talking about protest in the 1930s, right?
Okay.
Like the real protest, okay? So let's talk about protest as what we're experiencing right now in 2020. We were just talking about how this incident right here was the straw that broke the camel's back that changed the world. Me and Larry was just talking, and our guest that's going to be here was just talking. We were sharing a conversation that this incident right here just took the whole issue as an accumulative effect and caused a worldwide protest. This morning I wake up and they're protesting in Paris.
They're protesting in Paris. Okay.
In Paris. You see what I'm saying?
I didn't see that.
Um,
But I guess they sick of it too, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and this is the thing. We have to bring some awareness. Sometimes and I'm going to say sometimes, all the time, we have to be disruptive just to get awareness.
Yes.
Just to be aware. Just to make other people acknowledge what our pain and suffering is, and to let them know that we want change and we're not going to stand for a lot of things that's going on.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
My take on it, you really want to know? All right, so you talking about protesting. We had back in the day probably before we was born, we had the peaceful protests, and some of those protests made a difference until what we have today. Some of those peaceful protests had responsible leaders. Now in 2020, we don't have any leaders that's rising up to the platform, maybe because of so many circumstances that's going on. They don't want to risk their families or risk their lives or whatever to stand up for a cause that's right. Only thing I'm calling out is, where are the leaders at, that's going to stand up and, help in this situation. You have a lot of pastors. Where are you guys at to try to make things peaceful? And maybe I should say attack me, but I'm just saying my opinion. And pretty much everything does not have to be what it is now, as far as all this rage and hate. It's so much hate now, it's just crazy. I'm scared for everybody that's going on. Walking down the street, you have to be very on guard on what's really going on out here. You cannot just ignore what's going on. You have to be involved in it, or you're gonna get caught up in it. So you have to know what's going on, be aware of your surroundings, and pretty much keep up to date with whatever's going on.
Okay, I agree with you on that. See, but we have to make a stance with the organizations that we build.
Yes.
Okay, we have to move in numbers. Okay, our mission statements no longer can it be something fluffy.
Yeah.
A great pie in the sky that has nothing to do with equality. It has to include equality when we start talking about putting together a business, putting together nonprofits, and all that type of stuff. And then when we say we're going to do something, if we say we're going to be disruptive, we have to be disruptive, not destructive.
You're right.
Destructive can be inside of disruptive, because sometimes it takes that, but you have to be truly disruptive. And what I mean by disruption is when I'm torn between burning down buildings and all that stuff, because that did give people's attention, but we're tearing up our own cities. Mm-hmm. Okay? But when we get organizations such as Block, such as some of our other black organizations, then we have power to be disruptive. We can train people to be disruptive. Okay? Yeah. Like, for instance, when the most disruptive thing that Dr. Martin Luther King did was what? Besides protesting on the street, what else did they do?
They did a lot of things. Fight for civil rights. They put their lives on the line just to have some of the freedoms. They went head to head with the president, the governor, the mayors, everybody, even the people in the community.
So they disrupted the politicians, made them uncomfortable.
Made them uncomfortable.
They also disrupted the cash flow of the busing system, the transportation system.
Yes. They stopped catching the buses. They started walking or riding bikes.
Okay. That is perseverance to me. Mm-hmm. That's perseverance.
That's hitting the pockets.
That's right. So now let's take that all the way back to when we start talking about the Black Wall Street. Is that a protest?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes. Because they made a statement that said we don't need to shop outside our community. We can shop inside our community.
Okay, so now let's attach that to the velocity of wealth that we always talk about. When we talk about the velocity of wealth, if I'm not spending my money outside my community and putting money in somebody else's pocket, and then I increase the velocity of money inside of my own community, am I disrupting anybody else's economy?
You disrupting their economy.
Right. So we have to do more when we start talking about protests. We have to do a political protest, yes, and we have to do an economic protest. The economic protest means that we have to stop spending money in places that don't appreciate us. I know in class we always talk about moving our money from different banks. If they not willing to give you a loan, take your money out of that bank, go bank somewhere else. Get our own community banks and stuff like that. But we have to take it a step further.
Yes.
Okay. Now, those people that went to our own spots and tore up buildings and things like that, those are opportunists. They went in and got tennis shoes and T-shirts, and now they running around at like a walking billboard of the people that they're going to go back out and buy those tennis shoes. So if somebody sees someone with some nice Jordans on, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go to Nike and buy some more Nike tennis shoes from somewhere else. Okay. But what we have to do is day to day, we have to learn to support our own people and disrupt the dollar that's going in somebody else's community that don't appreciate us.
Right.
That makes sense?
That makes sense, yes.
Okay, and I know a lot of times in the past, what we tried to do was pick a day. And right now, there is a day that we're picking, and that's every Tuesday, that you pick your favorite restaurant of somebody that's in your community or your favorite store or your favorite service and go there and spend your money there. But we have to do something different. We got to do something that's going to be more sustainable. It has to be something that's going to ripple and have sustainability.
Yes, yeah.
You agree?
I agree. Start your own businesses, and pretty much people that shop in your own communities. Stop shopping at, different restaurants that don't look like you pretty much, and start shopping in black community, black owned businesses.
So every time we had a protest, it was always, it dies down.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we forget our purpose, and then things pick back up and then we have another protest again. But now we just have to come with something that's going to last a little bit longer. Okay, we got to create a habit, okay, of doing things properly, because when we make this type of statement, people will change the way that they deal with us. Okay, because right now I think that we're being puppet mastered.
Yes,
because I think this picture is bigger than just us down here on the ground level.
I think it's a setup.
Okay.
I think it's a setup.
But enough of that is because we got some people here that's going to tell us what we need to do because of the different crises that's going on. Now, we didn't had 2 different situations in 2020 already that then flooded the gun stores with customers that's buying guns off the shelf. First, it was the coronavirus, and now it's the protests. All these gun stores are emptying the shelves because of all this awareness that's going on. So these guys right here that we're gonna have as guests, and I want you to announce their company name. It's gonna be, they're gonna show you how to properly buy one and tell you about their class when it's time to get legal. Right?
It's gonna be a time, because I challenge everybody out there to watch The Birth of a Nation, and then you will know exactly what's getting ready to go down, what's going on. So The Birth of a Nation, I watched that a few years ago, and it opened up my eyes to everything that was going on as far as Civil War, how it started, as far as slavery, how they rose up against their masters and just took them out and killed them. And then what happened after that, when they was protesting, and they went against everything and started riots and everything. But it was a slavery riot. It was just a small one. But then what happened after the fact of the black people was just outrageous. So I challenge everybody to find that movie, watch The Birth of a Nation, and then you'll see exactly what's going on in the world today. All right, so we have 2 special guests on hand, on the scene. We got Michael Johnson, and we got his friend over here. Can you introduce your friend here?
Yes, sir. It's Mike J. This is Delwan.
Hello. My name is Delwan Fields.
All right. Mike, let's get the camera to you. We're going to talk a little bit about your corporation. Introduce yourself again. Tell a little bit about what you do and how we can reach you.
Okay, I'm co-CEO of Rise Training and Defense, Marine Corps veteran. Did 2 deployments, came out, got credentials to do the pistol training. Right now we do private security, pistol training, gun range coaching, and physical fitness coaching.
Okay.
We also have self-defense seminar that we're working on. It's coming up. Plenty more along with that seminar also. You come in, look at different items, get to know us, do all the training in one spot.
All right, so when you're talking, try to look at that camera right over
Oh,
there. Right over there. You're talking to the community right here.
Yeah,
so where do you have this training at?
This training goes down usually every Sunday. We try to do it on 503 East 200th Street, Euclid, Ohio, 44119.
Okay, and do you have a website?
Right now, our website is not up, but you can reach us on Instagram at rise.cle, Facebook,
www.facebook.com/rise2019.
and also we just created a YouTube page that we'll be documenting more on.
Okay, great. All right. So, okay.
So, Mike, tell me your opinion about owning a weapon right now. What are the things that we need to look out for as far as behavior, and who should own the weapon and who cannot?
Well, what we do, we tell all of our students we're here to instill the proper knowledge, skills, and attitude of handling and using a gun safely. So that's first and foremost. You need to have the right attitude. It's not I need a gun because I need to defend myself now to shoot somebody. It's the discipline of having that gun, cleaning it, knowing the fundamentals of how you're shooting, and properly putting it up so somebody like your own child can't reach this gun and shoot themselves. Right now, anyone can purchase a gun. If you're not a felon right now, you can purchase a gun. There's other stipulations like domestic violence, assaults, menacing, some disorderly conducts, but that'll go into when you actually go to look for your CCW license with the sheriff's office and they do the background check. They'll dive more into that.
Okay.
So.
I don't know if
Delmar, let's go. Let me
Delmar,
ask you, yeah.
I don't know if I stated that Facebook reference wrong. I'm not sure I was thinking about it, but I want to say it again. It's www.facebook.com/rise2019.
Okay, I got one question.
Rise
for you.
as in R-I-S.
R-Y-S-E.
R-Y.
S-E. Thank you.
Okay, R-Y-S-E.
Okay, so tell me your opinion about the tension levels that's going on right now and the handling of a pistol or a weapon, whether it's a shotgun, handgun, or whatnot.
Absolutely. Everything. It's to actually bring. I believe everything is going on now because it's to bring, these conversations we having together now, what we having right now. Everything that Blot is bringing out and everything that Rise is about is really together. It's one. And just my personal opinion on having a weapon, I believe we all should have that. Rise concept is when you rise, we rise. So if we all rise up to standard, then from there we just continue to go up together. So once everyone is at a certain point where they all legally have themselves together, then we can take it from there and be able to build better structures. So.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about training your kids on weapons?
That's for the parent to discern. We know our children. I believe a good age will be 10, depending on, your child. But I'll say 10, and I do encourage it, because when you train up a child which way they should go, they won't depart. So you definitely want them to know how to utilize it so that they'll, by learning it, they also aware of the dangers of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know we used to go to Kentucky, and they were training kids out there to shoot M16s, AR-15s, handguns. They knew how to break it down. There was one little boy out there. This was in the 90s. He had to be 14 years old. He was shooting what they call a flare gun, almost like a rocket launcher. And he was shooting that thing, tearing up cabins and destroying stuff on his field.
Right.
So all I know is that you have a lot of people out here that we're not familiar with, beyond our boundaries, that are teaching their kids how to use a weapon. And I was wondering, right here in our urban or our type of community, we don't teach them that. It's not a lot of us teaching our kids how to put together a weapon or go get the weapon, especially with these single parents.
Right.
If you in trouble, who else gonna grab that weapon and save you? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
What you think about that?
I believe you need to teach your kids as early as possible. The parent, like he said, it's to their discernment, and they know how mature their child is. So as soon as your child gets it and knows, they watch you break the weapon down, or I should say the pistol or the firearm, they watch you break it down, they watch you go over how to use it, how to put the ammunition in, everything like that. You need to take them to that gun range with you, so they're not scared of it later on, or just using it last minute to once again shoot someone on the offense. They need to know how to deal with these guns as early as possible, because now it's just a law of the land. Everybody has one. Back in the day, Kingsmen, they used swords. That was the weapon of choice. Now it's pistols. It's show them how to use a knife properly, a bow and arrow, and we have guns. There's no point in being scared of something that's been here for years and is being used against us. So as early as possible. When I say as early as possible, last time I was in the range with our class, there was a 7-year-old boy there with his father. His father was loading up. He loaded up a rifle and a pistol. It was a 45, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 45, and I was surprised he was loading up the 45, which he learned is too big for his son.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a smaller pistol, but once again, we're there teaching grown men and women how to shoot this pistol for the first time. And this boy is 7, 8 years old, learning right now.
Yeah.
So just imagine what, he will use it for later is recreational purposes like hunting and competition shooting.
Yes.
But then there's also people that just
Shoot.
go off the handle and want to shoot something. So instead of you just picking up an illegal gun, trying to scrape serial numbers off and all that, learn how to use these pistols and firearms early in life, so you'll properly use it later on. You can help somebody.
Mm-hmm. Now back to this tension that's going on with the protest and the coronavirus. You have a lot of tensions build up where you got people that's actually out here. They may not even be in the protest atmosphere or the environment, but you get them out here and they basically want to attack each other for the smallest reason.
Anything.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do, we had a conversation about it earlier, but I want you to share your feelings about owning a pistol and dealing with that type of tension. What is the do's and the don'ts?
Well, first, if you own a pistol and you don't feel anything positive is going to come out of you being there in that energy, and you know what that energy could possibly come to, because we see how these riots get out of hand, whether it's from the people that's peacefully protesting or not. If you don't feel it, don't go there. If you know you don't have the proper skills and attitude, you may have knowledge of the gun, but you don't have that attitude right now because you're so mad, don't even go there with your weapon. Don't leave the house. I mean, it's other things you could be doing as far as, like I said, teaching your children how to use it. The energy down there, with people moving around, I don't feel like it's necessary for us to be talking about guns and protests anyway. I don't think we should be mixing that right now, because we're trying to show as much as possible how much we really are angry, but we're holding back. We're still being civilized. We're still trying to get this organization amongst our own people, because as you can see with these protests, it's not a majority of our own people even in there. So once we do see our own people and they come to City Hall, just keep showing that togetherness. It doesn't have to have weapons. We don't have to march with weapons. And I did see how I believe it was a gun club that went to Michigan before these protests. They went to Michigan all locked and loaded with firearms. But as soon as we do it, it's a problem. They want to beat you. They're going to arrest you. They're pulling out all stops right now. They're starting with rubber bullets, and that could change pretty soon. So once a president says, you loot, I shoot, there's no point. You already know what's happening. There's no point. He gave you a fair warning. So there's nothing you can say that would clear that. I'd rather you not try to battle all the guns the military has. And like we were speaking about earlier, I feel like it's bills over bullets. Right now, keep your money circulating amongst each other. Before these protests and after these protests, keep organizing with your neighborhood, learning each other, learning why are people so mad. It's some people that's mad at each other and we don't even know it. Now we have one common goal to come down and protest. No, we need to do this every day, every week. Get together as much as possible and just speak to each other and learn more about each other, because some people live in neighborhoods, they're just now seeing their next door neighbor because they had a protest. But you should have been talking to them. You should have been coming outside when you saw how the police was roughing up your neighbor. You don't have to come outside and harm the police. When you come outside and you all form a circle around or just a line and let them know you're watching, because obviously pulling out a camera is not doing anything right now. Go out there and help your brother. You have to be there for them spiritually and physically. You can't just watch from the window no more being scared, because next time it could be you or one of your loved ones. So anybody I see being mistreated by police, and honestly, I believe there is a law against stopping police from unlawful arrest. So you can literally go up and detain them. But I would look into that before doing it, just because of the situation right now. But it's togetherness.
Mm-hmm. So, you wanted to say something?
I was just saying, well said.
Okay. Okay, good. So, what I would like to continue on that note with is that when you leave the house, especially in this climate, leave out with a protesting spirit every day. That means you don't have to march down St. Clair to protest. You can leave out your house with a protesting spirit and say that, you know what, I'm not about to support this organization that does not support or do right by my kind or my community. When you leave out with a protesting spirit. Protesting spirit don't always mean that you have to leave out with a chip on your shoulder and angry, even though that helps a whole lot. But be strategic as well. What I mean by being strategic, know that, okay, if I'm going to, just like you choose where you go get your gas because of the price, choose where you go get your gas because who's behind the counter receiving your dollars. Choose who's going to feed you based off of what they put in your bodies and how they spending your money. Okay, they got a list of restaurants and other organizations out here. I can't recall the list. I got it wrote down. So when I go get something to eat, I'm looking at that list. If that list is supporting something that don't support me, I'm not stopping. Every time I make a move now, I'm looking at what supports me and what does not. That makes sense? Yes, that's a protest. All right. Just like in Florida, Oklahoma, when they decided to protest, they did it naturally. They were saying that we're going to keep our money within.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yep, through the whole lockdown, I went to eat at our stores.
That's right. There you go. There you go. Just like Dr. King said that we're going to boycott the buses if they don't support what we do. Okay? And guess what? They took a beating. Sure. So we can hit them politically, economically, all with this velocity of wealth. And velocity of wealth has not just to do with the money, but with the bodies, the human resources. We are resources to them.
Yes, we are.
All right. What you think about that, young lady?
Only thing I want to say is these young people that's just sitting around doing nothing now, you're waking up, you're seeing what's really going on in the world. It's time to get up, get yourself educated, start doing some things. You can't just be sitting at home playing video games all the time because you're missing a whole other decade, century of a history is happening right now. Be a part of that history. So get up, stop being lazy, start educating yourself, start reading some books, know your craft, whatever you're trying to do, whatever passion you have as far as this, these things that's coming down. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So we use this network right here to put out a lot of information to support our business owners that are part of BLOT and other business owners that's next to us in our community. And if you want to showcase your business, you can reach us, or you can reach Larry James here at KAZ Radio, and make sure you putting out the right message. Okay, Larry ain't about no bull crap, so he want nice information. You come out here, you got nice business, real good business, and you can.
Oh, okay. So we're asked, when is your next CCW class?
Next CCW class is this Sunday, June 7th. You can register right now with me. You can call at 216-404-7624 or email at RYSE, that's RYSE LLC 2019@gmail.com.
And you have some flexibility, right?
Yes.
What's the flexibility?
All flexibility. We Corona came, we was in quarantine, so we had to jump to Zoom classes. We do one-on-one classes with you. We'll pull up to your house. However you want to do it, you will get your CCW through RYSE Training and Defense.
Okay, now what's the deal? You told me something about the deal with the house. It was a special deal. You still got that going on?
With the house, it stopped because of the COVID-19 quarantining. So we just did a discounted flat rate for everybody, $75 per student.
Wow.
Okay.
Couldn't get no better than that. I don't know if you'll go to anybody that's giving you that right now. Plus targets and eye and ear protection once you come to class, and a free gun rental. It's a limited selection, but it's free gun rentals through us if you don't want to rent through the range.
Okay, so we're going to take this time right now to allow my time to close us out because we down to our last 30 seconds.
Okay, give your phone number one more time.
Phone number is 216-404-7624.
All All right, so right now we are out of time on this Wednesday. So catch us every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon with KAZ Radio TV. We're Black Incorporated, building business leaders of tomorrow today. I'm your host, Montana Moore. Woo, woo. Co-host over here.
Vernon Tyus.
All right, we'll see you next Wednesday at 12.